A very good morning. Welcome to Chartbusters. Well, we're highlighting a whole host of stocks as we speak. The Nifty is struggling yet again. We're just managing to hold on to the 10,700 odd mark. It's not looking very, very good. We have had more or less a down week, and it's a Friday. And we have the Friday stock as well. Dr. Reddy's, that stock, in fact, is down nearly around 10%. It's a frontline Nifty stock. There are observations that are coming in from the Bachupalli facility. And we have a couple of brokerage notes as well that have already written. But it did see a sharp correction. And just by the look of it, it appeared it's not just the futures action. It appeared there was some genuine cash market selling. At least, if you just take a look at the intraday chart, it was down close to around 20%. We're talking about a frontline Nifty stock going down 20% in a matter of a few minutes. Well, Mangalam, as we speak and as we do the introduction to the show, the Nifty has broken the 10,700 mark.
It has broken the 10,700 mark, Nigel, and the responsibility of that has been ascribed to perhaps ITC, which is currently at the low point of the day. Yeah. So ITC taking the Nifty lower. Along with that, we have Infosys as well, which has now moved to the low point of the day. So both these heavyweights account for nearly 10% weight on the index cumulatively at the low point of the day, taking the Nifty below that 10,700 mark. What we do is take a look at all the top stories, and then we get cracking on individual news pieces. Dr. Reddy, she sees a sharp recovery from the lows, but Jefferies' note says Bachupalli Form 483's 11 observations include 4 repeat observations, adds that clearance for Bachupalli's unit by US FDA could take time.
And ONGC gets a boost on the back of a good Q3. Both the gas and the net oil realizations improve for the company. The EBITDA expands on account of lower OPEX.
Jet Airways gains in trade flies high as the board approves draft debt resolution plan that includes fund infusion and debt restructuring plan to be presented for consideration to the Etihad board and promoter. Company also reports lower losses in the third quarter.
And Ashok Leyland sees some profit-taking post a good operational performance. The margin beat estimates by around 10.3%. The management says there is no impact on business due to the CEO transition. They expect 10 to 15% growth in industry volumes. United Breweries reports a strong set of numbers. The management aims at 10 to 12% growth going ahead. Both stocks, though, down 4 to around 5%.
All right, Page Industries weak in today's trading session. A note coming in from Kotak says the Ind AS 115 revenue recognition adoption is what resulted in an optically higher revenue accretion of nearly 33 crore rupees for the quarter. Adjusted revenue growth for the third quarter would have been 14% as against the 19% that the company reported. Glenmark too sulks as management in the conference call says that US pricing environment continues to be challenging, expects 10 to 15% growth in India. That stock down to 4%.
Well, we have just gone lower. We are below the 10,690 odd mark. So it's not looking, great by any stretch of imagination. One would have thought maybe we'll have a bit of a bounce, but that as well has not come about. And with Dr. Reddy's falling, you have a couple of these other pharma names as well that have just seen some selling pressure. Sun Pharma suddenly lower. Remember, they came out with a very, very strong set of numbers in comparison to what we were estimating. So it's really soured the mood actually out there. That stock as well moving to the low point of the day. How do you trade the Nifty from here? Should you be even, trying to be adventurous and going out there and buying this dip, or are we heading to 10,500 or even lower levels? Ashwini Gujral joins in to give us a technical check. Ashwini, your sense, are we heading to the 10,500 mark, or do you believe at some point of time we could see a bounce, maybe lower levels, 10,650, 10,600? Where does support lie?
See, the issue is that for last 4 months we have been in a narrowing range. It started from, say, about 10,150 to about 11,000. Slowly, the lower end kept on rising, and now if you draw a trend line from 10,150 all the way to 11,000, now the current trend line positioning is around these levels, 10,680, 10,700. But the issue is that now as we are going towards that boundary, the momentum seems to be increasing. More and more issues are coming to the table. There's all kinds of corporate governance, auditor, regulator. So the sense appears to be that, today you will have a fairly decisive move. And once we can break 10,680, I think the market could expand on the downside. So that way, risk reward wise, you can say that with a 10,720 type of stop, you could have lower levels and levels which may then go even below 10,500. So that way I think the downsides are kind of opening up, and more stable stocks like ITC and FMCGs and ITs, they are also now beginning to participate on the downside. So the last bastion which was holding up is now slowly giving way. So that way Nifty, Bank Nifty, you can get short on, and you should have brisker moves on the downside than we've had in this range bound action. Having said that,
go ahead with your
Asian Paint is a sell with a stop of 1400, target of 1340. Lupin is a sell with a stop of 800. 865, target of 800. ICICI Pru is a buy with a stop of 304, target of 321.
Ashwini, take your point on the index where it is opening for a downside. We're seeing a lot of call writing at 10,700 as well. 4-5 lakh shares added just in the last 15 odd minutes. In that case, what are the sort of levels that you're looking at the lower end? And if at all there was a bounce, where do you think that would find resistance?
See, basically, all sorts of bounces should now not cross 720, 10,720, 740. So that way, there's hardly a 30-40 point chance of a bounce. Given the momentum, I think 10,550 is your next level. But, this 4-month expansion has a lot of energy built in this. So if it starts to break in a heavy manner, then 10,550 may not hold on. In fact, on Lupin, I think the stop was 800 and the target was 765.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Ashwini. I think we'll get the Ashwini's disclosures as well up for you on the screen. But the stock in focus is Dr. Reddy's. Remember, we've got those observations that did come out. We just flashed it for you on the screen. We have Sujit Paul, who joins in to give us his analysis of the impact on the company and how serious are they. Hi Sujit, thanks so much for joining in. Fill us in. You've had a look at the particular document, and if you could give us your analysis, your takeaways.
Yeah, I have gone through this, but to support this kind of erosion, which is around 20-25%, I really have to be too naive to believe this, because I think repeat observation has come from many companies and nothing new for Dr. Reddy either. And being a water plant, I think it is very easily, not very easily, but it is achievable to achieve the resolution in, say, in 12 months to 18 months time. But, expecting that import alert will come, and Vachupali definitely is one of the, big exporter of US product. So I think that may not be right thing.
So your call would be to go out there and buy, since we have already seen such a big dip, and I think, a majority on the street as well, after the stock being down more than 20%, now it's down only around 7%. So this dip should be bought into?
I think from here to my target price, you can get another 100 rupees from here.
All right, another 100 rupees. Another 100 rupees from here. Surjit, a lot of the brokerages, they're writing that the company's response to this letter will be key. What exactly are the things that you'll be watching out for with regards to the company's communication on this letter? And if you could tell us, how long will it take for the company to resolve? Because a lot of people believe that this would take longer than expected because it is repeat observations.
See, instead of getting too technical on that, I'll give you just one of the observations, which is a repeat observation. See, in somewhere in the report they said is that there is a temperature was not right for producing some of the products. Now, similar observation was in Sun Pharma, but objective was different. Over there, they said is that your temperature was not right and your data is manipulated. Here, they said your data is right, implying their data is right, but data, the temperature it indicates is not right. So it means that it is not about data manipulation. It is about they follow certain operational standard, which is not right in the view of USFDA. So they will be changing, they will accept the fault, and they will go ahead. So that is what I'm saying, is that the gravity of the observations was not as great as we have seen in some of the big companies. So it is achievable, resolution is achievable, and if somebody or stock is pushed down because of that, thinking of that, I think that will be too simplistic to think on that.
All right, Sujit, thanks a lot for joining in. Short point, the dip should be bought into, and the observations may not be as severe as they appear to be. The stock is up around 600 plus rupees from the lows of the day. Sujit Paul believes there could be 100 rupees more on the upside for Dr. Reddy.